So during first grade, we had two different groups because so many people enrolled that they couldn't fit them all in one class. Both groups were mostly chill, except that each had that one kid who made life miserable for everyone else. In my group, it was a kid named Gosha, and in the other one, it was a guy named Nikita. While you may think of a bully as someone who threatens kids behind the teacher's back, these guys were much more radical. They would constantly throw tantrums, swear at teachers, and cause tons of collateral damage. Russian elementary school bullies are comparable to atomic bombs in the sense that any wrong move can easily set them off, and the consequences are disastrous for everyone. So second grade came, and because a bunch of kids had left, the groups were now merged into a single class. The problem with this was that we now had two chaotic gods of destruction in one place, and they weren't in the mood for sharing, so every day there would be new drama sparked between them that the rest of the class would take hours to emotionally recover from. Then winter came, and this was special because each year during one specific day in December, we would be let outside to play for an hour, and naturally that would always develop into a huge scale battle because, whoa, this is just like that moment in Star Wars, whoa! And so it became clear that this year's battle would be primarily about Gosha and Nikita. The class separated into three groups, those who supported Gosha, those who supported Nikita, and those who supported neither and wanted to have nothing to do with this. As the battle raged on, the Gosha front began taking more and more ground until eventually people who were at first neutral would proceed to switch to Gosha's side to help him take down Nikita. All seemed to be pretty much set in stone until Nikita suddenly ran into Gosha, knocked him down, pulled out an icicle, and stabbed him in the eye. No, I am not kidding. He actually stabbed him in the eye with an icicle, and while I don't remember that for certain, I think the eye began to bleed a little, so it was quite a serious injury. The break was cut short and Gosha's parents were called. Now, you'd think that stabbing your classmate in the eye would get you in trouble, meaning that Nikita was on his way out and we won, but fun fact, no. Gosha's parents simply took him away and we never saw him again, meaning that Nikita emerged victorious from the battle. And this was bad news for us considering that the majority of the class fought against him. So third grade was pretty much more of the same, except somehow even worse. Apart from our old teacher resigning following the icicle incident and the new one replacing her, as well as that one FNAF Crusade thing, watch my video about that, wink wink, things just kinda stayed the same. However, as the year went on, it became clear that our new teacher wasn't mentally prepared for Nikita, and he was having a far greater effect on her than he had on us even, and I had tics because of this shit, I'm not even kidding. She eventually started having outbursts of her own to counterattack Nikita's, which made things even more chaotic and destructive for us. At this point, education wasn't even an option, as most of the school day would be wasted on this power struggle between Nikita and our slowly mentally decaying new teacher. We kind of got used to it though and managed to adapt somewhat, so things were relatively chill for a while. That is, until winter approached again. Right before we were let outside, the teacher came up to me and said, "Hey, don't you just hate Nikita, huh? Wouldn't you prefer if he was gone? Wouldn't it be kinda cool if he died?" Basically, she told me that Nikita needs to be removed, and since I was the best behaving student in class, she trusted me to instigate the uprising. She would say things like, "Oh, you'd be a hero if you liberated the class from him, and I'll give you a good grade if you do it." Now, 9-year-old me was kinda dumb and lacked proper consciousness, so I was like, "Oh, good grade, nice, gift please," and went outside. I managed to gather a bunch of people and made a speech about how we shouldn't tolerate Nikita's tyranny anymore and it's time we fight back. Soon more and more people began joining the crowd until more than half of the class was mobilized and prepared to take Nikita down. The battle had begun. It was us versus Nikita and a bunch of guys who sucked up to him, so we began chasing Nikita through the icy plain while his friends tried to block our way so we wouldn't catch up. A bunch of us at the back began bombarding him with snowballs while the comrades at the front were busy fighting the henchmen. Nobody could land a hit though, as Nikita was quite fast. Then I suddenly noticed a pretty big patch of snow, pick it up and throw it into his direction. As the patch flies towards Nikita, my senses finally reach my brain and I process the fact that it wasn't snow. It was ice. The ice patch somehow hit Nikita directly in the head and he collapsed onto the floor. And after a few seconds of complete silence, we go, "Hooray! Nikita's dead! Let's go!" and head back inside. On my way to class, the teacher stops me and says, "What were you thinking?" And I go, "So, what about that grade?" "Shh! "You almost killed Nikita, you just barely missed his temple. How could you?" And then pointed at Nikita, who now had a big scar on the side of his forehead. Basically, the teacher knew that I was the most obedient and manipulated me into attacking Nikita so that she could then blame it on me, and she tried to get me arrested or sent to an orphanage or something, and kept insisting that video games have rotten my brain and made me violent. My parents obviously knew that was not the case, and after talking to me for a while, they pieced together what happened, which is part of the reason why I remember the story so vividly. Luckily, Nikita's parents couldn't care less about him, so they didn't press charges, and he would continue to stay at the school, but from now on, he would not cause any more trouble. Our teacher though lasted only until spring. In Russia, we have this thing called Maslenitsa, which is an old pagan holiday where people set scarecrows on fire and eat pancakes in celebration of winter ending. On that day, our parents walked us to class. We were all wearing suits and dresses, holding flowers and pancakes our mothers baked, just very cute and wholesome, and we go, "Good morning, Miss Teacher," only to be greeted by her screaming, "You fucking brats, you ruined my life." She then threw a mug in our direction and it just barely missed us, smashing against the wall. We started crying, and I remember going, "Mommy, did we do something wrong? Did we make the teacher sad?" And my mom was like, "No, honey, she just had a tough day, probably." Then several mothers ran up to our teacher and began trying to calm her down, and as you can imagine, the subsequent pancake feast was very awkward. Our teacher would soon thereafter be fired from her job and heavily advised to attend psychiatric help. So I guess all's well that ends well. The moral of the story: if someone bullies you, bully them back 10 times harder. I don't fucking know. There is no moral here. Russia is an immoral place, okay? Like, sub, bell, bye.